Hey guys, Lazerbolt here, and welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to show you everything you need to know to maximize your profits in the cargo career in Microsoft Flight Simulator 24. First, let's assume that you've completed all the specializations and have earned enough money to buy the cargo transport company, along with a Cessna 172, and we'll start from there. Now, when you're looking for a place to have your aircraft delivered to, avoid any kind of mountainous region. This little 172 is best at low altitudes, and that's why I like to fly around central United States, east of the Rockies. It's nice and flat around here. Now you'll have a number of light cargo missions ranging anywhere from 1 to 3 hours, each worth anywhere from 20 to 40,000 credits. Let's go ahead and choose this 3-hour mission here worth 34,000 credits. And here you can see it's going to cost 2,420 credits to transfer our airplane. But don't worry, that's just a drop in the bucket compared to the amount of credits we're about to start making. First thing I like to do is wash that airplane, man. It doesn't cost that much and your airplane always looks nice and shiny. Then go up here and check your fuel and payload real quick. It looks like we've got plenty of fuel. Now let's bring up the EFB and check our cruising altitude. They often set an unreasonably high altitude for this little Cessna. It really struggles climbing higher than 9,000. Little side note, technically pilots don't refer to altitudes lower than 16,000 feet as quote-unquote flight level. That's for 16,000 and higher, but the game does it all the time, so big whoop, right? I see here they've got our cruise altitude set for 10,000 feet. That's a bit much. Let's bump that down to about 5,000 instead. Now go down and file the plane with ATC so they know we changed it, and away we go. Now let's talk about skipping versus no skip. While it's true that you want to do employee missions without skipping because the no skip bonus is the majority of your payment, when doing missions for your own company, you earn way more credits by skipping. Let's skip the takeoff and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Keep in mind that we're here to maximize our profits per hour, not necessarily worrying about our reputation too much. And by that I mean, don't worry about any of the little things that chip away at your reputation, like speeding on the taxiway, landing on the wrong runway, or missing an ATC call. None of those things affect the amount of credits you receive much, if at all, and you can still maintain a really high reputation. Now what you do want to pay attention to is anything that'll damage your aircraft. For instance, deploying your gear too soon, or your flaps while going too fast, or any kind of engine overheating. You want to avoid that because it'll damage your aircraft and cost you a lot of money. And there you go. Anytime you see the option to skip, hit it. I'm taxiing all the way to the end of the runway as instructed this time, but like I was saying, feel free to just take off whichever direction you like. Reputation schmeputation. This is about making credits quickly. Okay, once your trusty Cessna is up in the air and you've retracted your flaps, get yourself in a stable climb and activate the autopilot main. This will just keep your bird at a constant heading. Now set your vertical speed to around 700 to 800 feet per minute and begin climbing to 5,000 feet. Just make sure your indicated airspeed stays in the green and climb as fast as possible. Climbing and descending is what takes the most time in a cargo mission, so we'll try to get to the cruise altitude as quickly as possible. Don't even worry if you're heading in the right direction. It doesn't matter at all. Just keep climbing. Alrighty, now as soon as we reach altitude, hit that Alt-N and we'll skip to the end. When we come out of the loading screen, don't be alarmed by that alarm. That's just your autopilot shutting off. So at this point, we should be directly over our destination airport. Here, take a good look at the situation and make your way into the traffic pattern.
Kilo Tree 9er traffic Cessna November 8440, 41 miles west 2100. Ford inbound to land runway 20.
Don't worry about turning too sharply. The cargo is pretty sturdy and it's hard to damage. Now let's slow down and get this bird on the ground. Remember to be under 110 knots when you deploy your first notch of flaps, and inside the white line under 85 knots before deploying the second notch.
Kilo Tree 9er traffic Cessna November 84404 is on final runway 20 to land.
Now I've talked a lot about how reputation doesn't matter much, but do you know what does matter much? Don't crash. Right, I know it sounds obvious, but don't crash. Do a go-around if you're not set up properly, but crashing will devastate your company's finances and reputation in a big hurry. Don't do it. All right, safely on the ground. Now, as soon as you've reduced your speed enough to get the check mark, just exit the runway and take the penalty here. This way it brings up the skip option instantly, and you can save a couple minutes by not taxiing to the hold short and then to the parking lot. And bang, just like that, mission complete. And even with all of our shenanigans, we still got a decent reputation here, look. And there you go, a cool 37,000 credits the quick way. Now let's compare that to doing a similar mission and not skipping. First of all, if you don't skip, you can complete the mission in roughly half the time that it says it'll take. For instance, this 2.5-hour job will actually only take about 1 hour and 15 minutes to complete. And looky here, this job is for 30,000 credits and netted a respectable 88,000 with the hefty no skip bonus. Not bad for just over an hour, but nowhere near what we can earn when skipping. Let's do another one real quick and time it so we can crunch some numbers. Okay, let's do this one here worth 24,000 credits. That's way on the low end of what you can earn per mission, but still worth it. As always, first thing, watch that plane, check your fuel. And look at that, you'll notice when you skip missions, you use very little fuel, so we're good to go here. And look at that, our cruise altitude in the EFB is still set to 5,000 feet. So we'll just push that out to the ATC and make sure they got the memo, and we're ready to fly. And there you go, in just under 11 minutes, we earned 26,000 credits. Now let's compare that to not skipping. By not skipping, we earned 88,000 credits in 1 hour and 15 minutes. But we would earn over 130,000 credits in 1 hour and 15 minutes by skipping. And a lot more than that if you stick to the higher paying jobs. Once you have a big fat stack of credits and all the prerequisites to haul medium cargo, it's time to buy a new aircraft. So let's buy this Grand Caravan for 3.8 mil first and start making some real dough. Sure, the amazing Pilatus is only 1 million or so more, but with these medium cargo missions, you'll make that up in a hurry. Then we can buy and fly this Pilatus and leave this Grand Caravan behind for our employees to beat the hell out of. Now look at this, we have a bunch of medium cargo transport missions available. Most of them are around 5.5 hours long. Let's take this one worth 428,000. Alright, checking the EFB, it looks like they've got us scheduled to go all the way up to 29,000 feet, which once again is a bit much for this aircraft. At the very least, it would take forever to get there. Let's bump that way down to about 8,000 and I'll show you some tips and tricks for this Grand Caravan.
V1, rotate.
So after takeoff and you're in a steady climb, retract your flaps, engage your autopilot main, and set your vertical speed to about 900 feet per minute to quickly climb up to altitude.
Sierra 1,900 foot, request IFR to 78, Yankee ready to copy.
Once we get there, hit that Alt-N and brace yourself. This Caravan always comes out of hyperspace getting tossed around like crazy with the autopilot turned off and the flaps deployed. So hurry up and retract your flaps before they take speed damage. You'll be placed anywhere from 20 to 40 miles out from your final destination, so fly as fast as you can without going over speed and get there quickly. This part adds a few minutes to the flight and makes it so it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to complete a mission now. And while we're traveling, let's check our EFB to find which runway we're landing on and to check the elevation of the airport itself. Then begin descending down to about 1,500 feet above ground level. Okay, we're about 3 miles from final. Let's slow down to land. Make sure you're under 150 knots when you deploy your first notch of flaps, and under 125 for the second notch.
78 Yankee traffic Cessna November 740901 is on final runway tree 6 to land.
Now bring her down soft and hit that reverse thrust. Thanks to a nice little bad weather bonus, we just made over 546,000 credits. Fantastic when you consider we could do 3 of these in an hour. In a few hours, we'll be able to afford this awesome Pilatus, which is one of my favorites. This thing is an absolute beast. Let's check it out. Look here, we're climbing at 2,000 feet per minute and still maintaining 170 knots. That'll get you to altitude in a big hurry. Now when you're coming in for a landing, don't forget to put your gear down, and remember that your first notch of flaps is under 165 knots, and your second notch under 130 for the Pilatus. And lucky for me, this bird has a really powerful reverse thrust that saved my ass on this flight. Here I am coming in high and hot in the rain to a short wet runway with trees at the end. Ooh-wee, that was almost an expensive mistake. Oh, I love this bird. And blammo, another quick 600 grand. Only thing left to do now is to save up that $306 million to get the Beluga. Hopefully by that time they will have added the heavy airliner rating and we can start crushing the heavy cargo missions. Well, there you go, everything you need to know about making money transporting cargo. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye now.